Man, this week was interesting, huh? So, did you saw the news that Tesla, that basically they are closing the factory and they are refurbishing it
They're
to be.
throwing in the towel. What's going on? I don't know.
I feel that Elon is playing a 4D chess game here, man. It's like they knew that they are not selling those Teslas, and they just wanted to change it around to say, hey, you know what? We're gonna say that we're gonna do it for Optimus, and so they got more news. They got like free publicity. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that they are doing it consciously? Because it feels almost like a PR stunt to me, that nothing
Yeah,
else.
I mean, it could be. So for those of you that aren't following Tesla as closely as us, Elon Musk did officially announce the honorable discharge, as they put it, of the Model S and the Model X out of the Fremont factory, and they're going to turn the Fremont factory into mass production hub for 1 million Optimus robots a year. So that's the official headline that really did come out. And like Mondo, like you were saying, is it like, is he just trying to hand wave here and be like, no, it's because we're focusing 100% on robots, that's why we're closing this down? Or was it really like they're just not selling that many of these now?
Let me let me
Granted.
let me put this.
A bullshit? Bullshit? A bullshit. Bullshit.
Oh
So
man,
true. So true. So I don't know. It seems a little bit weird. But if you look at the numbers, if you do look at the numbers, they weren't selling many of the Model S and many of the Model X. Now,
hmm
granted, those models, those designs were already old. Like they hadn't really done big major refreshes on those vehicles. So maybe they were planning this kind of all along, because they haven't refreshed those vehicles like the Model 3 and the Model Y. The new Juniper Model Y is obviously the 3 and the Y. Those are their best sellers. Versus, I think between the Cybertruck, the Model S, and the Model X, they were doing like 50,000 units a year, something like that. It was very low numbers. So I think it made sense that they weren't going to refresh them, and they just said, let's kill them off. Let's focus on robots.
yeah, but also it's a bit misleading because they only sell 1.7 million cars, Tesla cars, right? I was looking the charts from 21, 0.94 millions, 22, 1.3 millions, 23, 1.8, 24, 1.7, and this year is even lower, a little bit lower. So they're claiming that they're going to have more robots production a year than cars. There is more parts for sure in a car. It's more complex to put together the car. Uh, but I feel that right now, not everybody is going to try to get a robot right away. So it's going to grow up to 1 million for sure. I really think that even Elon says that he's expecting to see billions. Like almost, he says that almost every human being will have a robot. So possible, but I think that maybe if I see it, is more going to be more closer to a car, maybe a family of four, maybe every four humans might be a robot. But I mean, still, right?
A household, per household. Maybe that
hmm
makes sense. At least to
Yeah.
start. Totally. I mean, why does a kid need its own robot? You send it to school and then it comes back home and teaches it. I don't know. But maybe for a friend. Mondo, you'll have a friend finally.
Maybe you're a robot already, huh?
Yeah.
So I feel that again, maybe they are trying to twist the information here to say, hey, no, 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 this is for great news. This is actually to position it and frame it in their advantage. So kudos for the PR department there. Once again, I think that they got a bunch of publicity, a lot of news there. So
For
good
sure.
angle.
In fact, their stock went up when they announced this, which was kind of odd. I was thinking, oh man, stock's gonna come down, but no, it had a nice little pump. So it's very, very interesting. I think people are, I guess, realizing, okay. I think we mentioned it. You mentioned it last week that Elon's not going to be remembered for Tesla vehicles. He's going to be
Mm-mm.
remembered for robots, right?
Yeah.
And people are are taking the hype, right? They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They're like, you know what? This is no longer really just a car company. This really is more an AI slash robotics company. So it's pretty interesting here.
Yeah, for sure. There is and I'm not sure if you remember there is a famous quote from Tesla, and the real Nikola Tesla. If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9. So why is basically everything is just in waves and energy, right? Anything that goes around is like that. So AI, digital, robotics, is just that's the foundation on how things are working. So yeah,
Maybe he just
plain.
like geometry.
No, he's actually. It's funny because a lot of these things are very even in woo shit, right? Because it actually matches the some of the numerology and things like that. So it's funny that the scientists they sometimes go back to even that, but they don't want to say it. But you can actually see that they are there, and the same with psychologists. Carl Jung did the same.
Mhm.
His latest days, one of the psychologists and scientists or whatever, he also was into that, right? So uh, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Elon will become a monk at some point.
Yeah. Well, Elon is always talking about there's going to be this amazing abundance. So, right. He says, you don't need your retirement accounts anymore. I got you. With these robots, GDP is going to grow. Same thing with AI. So he's working on it. We'll see. I'm not ready to give up that
I,
retirement account yet.
I feel that is a very benign outlook. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's nice to think in a very positive, but also he's an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs have a bias for abundance and as well optimism and to be
Mhm.
positive. So, but there is another outlook, the freaking James Cameron outlook. Terminator. So anything between can happen.
Yeah.
Um, so
I'll be
I don't
back.
know, man. But yeah, it's good. I think that kudos for Elon and Tesla on trying to push this. Uh, I was telling you before that the guy is for sure is a genius, but it's like only like few points, right? Like it's amazing how maybe 20 points of IQ can make, right? Because he still has the same 24 hours. He's human, right? So he bleeds. So
We don't know
uh,
what color.
maybe he might be a reptilian, huh? But
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. My point here is that it's amazing what he has accomplished with the amount of people that he has and the bets. Originally, when he sold PayPal, he put all the chips in again into the
Mhm.
game, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to invest. He invested in Tesla. I forgot it was 80 million, something like that, and he invested 100 mils into SpaceX. And in 2008, 2009, he almost lost them all of them. So
Mhm.
a little bit of luck there too that he was able to weather that time. If not, different story. But in
It's
just
almost like he's like in Back to the Future. You remember Biff,
mm,
the guy that stole the almanac and went back to the
mm,
future, and then he has like everything. He
yeah,
has the playbook. He has the
he
almanac.
has the
He
almanac, huh?
knows. He knows where to put the money. And someone find the almanac. It's like maybe that's what it is.
I
No,
talked
but I
to
agree with you. Yeah, like he's doing pretty good.
I'll tell you this, and you're into something here with that statement. When I was talking to a VC, a venture capitalist from San Francisco, I asked him, it's like, hey, how you are able to spot good entrepreneurs and good ideas? And this guy, they call him that is the Midas, that he has the Midas touch because every
Mm.
company that he invests, it just becomes a billionaire. Extremely picky VC, and in a very early because obviously when a company is already in Series B, D, or whatever, it's like almost no brainer, right? It's like right now if you're investing in OpenAI, come on, it's like yeah, it's one of the big ones, right? So or Anthropic or and you name it. Well, this guy invests even when the founders are not even known, right? So and that's the hard part. But one of the things that he says is that they need to be time travelers. I say, okay, say that again. What do you mean time travelers? It's like, yeah, they have to have the ability to see how the future looks like. Like in the case of Elon, he's thinking, okay, in 5 years, 10 years, once that I put robots, do I need to put them in the taxis, in the cyber cabs, right? In the or how what does that world look like? And then they traveling in time right now to make those strategy and adjustments, and it's helping me that in order to pick up then my next startup ideas in that way. So we need to be travelers, time travelers, Ramirez.
Yeah, that's a good point. Futurists are, I mean, they're not just looking, 5, 10 years down the road. They really are looking 20, 40 years and even beyond that. So it is a unique skill, unique gift. That's just what they default to. All of us could do it. Is just doesn't come. That's not our first step.
It's not
typically.
natural.
So yeah.
And you were mentioning to me the different type of entrepreneurship. Basically, there are entrepreneurs that they are more like a business person, that they just are selling chicken or whatever.
Just to make a buck.
Just to make a buck is another job, right? And there are other ones that they are more like technology, raw focus, right? And I feel that maybe there is another one that is more the entrepreneur that is looking into far ahead in the future and then match with technology.
Maybe some
right?
altruism, like for the sake of humanity.
What is the
like
sake
that.
of humanity?
There's some
right?
social entrepreneurship too. There are things, but yeah, you could chop it up in so many different ways. But it's very interesting to see the things that Elon has chosen to kind of work in. They really are the moonshot types, and that's probably another type of entrepreneur, right? Looking at moonshots and things like that. So it's pretty good. Now, I will say, bringing it back to Optimus and these robots. Even Musk himself has said these aren't doing any useful type of work yet in his factories. I know he does have them up and probably doing R&D and kind of testing things out, but they're not very useful at the moment. So we are still pretty early, at least here on the US side, and even in the China side, like with Unitree. I'm not sure how useful they're being put to work yet. I know they're able to do flips and karate and like Olympics, but I don't know if it's helping like their GDP yet. You could put it that way. But Musk also says that they're very difficult to build from scratch, and that's basically where we're starting. Right, supply chain's not really there to build.
The supply chain is not there. I can tell you right now. I have been trying to see how to build different robot pieces, and a very crucial part is the actuators. And it's funny that when you start diving into, you'll get to the same roadblocks than Elon, right? Like Elon was mentioning this before. I don't want to say that I didn't believe him, but it's like, seriously, nobody's like building like motors. Like there's so many motors around us, even the fan, right? But cars and so on, motorcycles. But yeah, they are not built for these particular cases, right? For humanoids. And yeah, that's an issue. If you are even from China, it might take between, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks to be able to supply them. So, and the problem is that when you're doing rapid prototyping, it's tough. You can't. So that means that you have to build your own, which is tough too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, like we said, those supply chain, and really what we've noted also kind of in the past, like the hardest part is kind of this hand forearm. That's really the hardest engineering to solve, is that piece. And that we're seeing that like if you go out and try and buy a robot right now, they usually don't come with the hands because that's the most expensive. It'll double the price of your bot, right? So hopefully he solves it soon. I mean, it seems like he's betting big on them right now. I think he said Gen 3. That's like their final design. Hopefully that's what they're going to be going into this Fremont factory. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty empty. I'm not doing anything since the Model S and Model X's are gone. And in a slight interesting thing, they also announced this week that they're really in talks of having SpaceX buy XAI. So it seems like he's going through some consolidation of
Mm.
businesses or
I
whatever it
mean,
is, and to move forward.
I have to put the video again. Bullshit, bullshit. Because it's like only like 3 people in XAI. And they fire one
all
of them.
those people generating those spicy videos on Grok, they must be really.
I understand why Elon is very picky. Even in SpaceX, he single-handed it interview every person that was getting into SpaceX, right? Probably is doing the same with XAI and so on. But yeah, it's just it's just hilarious. Like at Quar and X, like it's only like it's not even a company, right? It's a little startup, but whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Well, in any case, Musk is giving props to China because he says they're kind of the biggest competition here, that their manufacturing scale and AI capability really are next level. So, in this case, I think competition is good. Hopefully, it's driving Musk to try and meet some of these timelines a little bit more quickly, and the U.S. will be able to benefit from all of that.